Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the RobotSpa podcast. Once again, it's been a while because I am just horrible at being consistent with things. I do want to post these on a more regular schedule since they are not as difficult to do as my other videos are. I literally just have to, watch them over once as opposed to my other videos, which I have to watch over potentially hundreds of times. So I do want to get on sort of more of a regular basis with these. I'd like to do them once a week. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I would like to start doing that. Also, I'm still sort of figuring the audio out because I don't usually use this microphone. So, I know last time the audio was a bit quiet. The time before that, it was too loud. So, I'm still kind of messing with things, but let me know if this is okay, what's happening now. I've changed up some settings and everything, so hopefully it sounds decent. But let me know if there's anything you want me to change audio-wise, and I will do my best. But yeah, it's been a while. I didn't post a video last week, and I'll sort of go into that very quickly in a minute. Also, my nose is stuffy, so I feel like it was stuffy last time too. It might have been. I don't know. Yeah, it's stuffy because it's spring, and this video was actually filmed like probably a couple months ago, if I'm being honest. But this is the sunset version of the podcast. So I have Tosca and also the Pearly Lady running, and the Pearly Lady is going to be up for sale, and I have like a video made, but I have so many videos that I'm working on, and I'm kind of gonna get into what is going on. This is kind of just gonna be like an update blabby blab type of podcast, so if you're not into that, I'll see you next time, maybe next week. That would be awesome. But if you guys would let me know in the comments, if you continue to have questions, I'm still accepting questions, and then if you have specific themes that you want me to go over that you think would work for a podcast, also let me know those. Because for now, they're just kind of blabby blabs. They're just blabberinos, blabs. And the thing is, it's just me. It's just me talking to myself. So it's a little bit trickier to sort of keep myself going for an extended period of time to do these. A lot of the podcasts that I listen to, there's at least 2 people, so it's a bit tricky, but I'm trying my best. Talking to yourself for extended periods of time, I do think is like a weird art form. Not a great one, but it is. Even when just making videos, it's tricky to kind of keep yourself being entertaining and keeping yourself going when it's just you. I would like to have some guests on in the future, but for now, it's just me. I have like a little list of things that I want to talk about today, things I want to discuss. This is a longer video clip. I don't know if I'm going to be going on for the whole time. I tend to get really tired after like half an hour talking, and this is longer than half an hour, so maybe I'll take a break or something and then sort of keep going, or we'll see how it goes. We shall see how it goes. So, to start off, I did not post a video last week, and my schedule's been kind of sporadic, so I don't even know if you guys noticed. I've just been sort of trying to figure out what I want to make this year. I've been making a lot more of just like videos that I want to make, and I want to make everything nice and make everything good. And so I do want to sort of keep the podcast as a place where I can just kind of ramble and maybe sometimes complain. And some of you are here for it, some of you are not, but that's okay. It's so that this kind of conversational stuff doesn't as much go in my videos. It sort of stays here. But there's a lot of stuff that I'm working on, so I have honestly probably 4 or 5 videos that I'm currently in the process of making, and none of them were finished for last week. And also, if you were following my Instagram, you may have seen some concerning stories last week, but I don't want anybody to worry. Everything's okay now. Some emergency situation went down, and I had to deal with it and kind of just stop and take a breather because I couldn't really do anything. But everyone's okay. Everything's okay now. Because of that, I am very behind on everything now. So last week's comic page was late, and now I'm late on catching up to it. So I kind of have to catch up on everything. So that's really why there wasn't a video out last week. And I'm more so, instead of being on just like a regular post every week, I'm doing a lot more project videos, and I'm basically just posting them when I finish the project. But the other problem with that is that I had mentioned before that my computer was just not having it and was not editing properly. Turns out the problem wasn't my computer, but it is the editing software that I'm using. So I've been editing a lot of my videos just on like Windows Movie Maker, and I have to find something that's a little bit more compatible with what I do, because if you know anything about editing, Windows Movie Maker is like a single timeline, and I really can't work that way. So for example, with Windows Movie Maker, you can only have one video file and one audio file, but I usually need at least double. So I use Movavi. I think that's how you say it. Movavi. But I have both the Mac version and the Windows version, which wasn't cheap, by the way. It was like $70. I don't remember. I don't have the video suite for the Mac. I do have the suite for Windows, but it wasn't like a free program. And I really like it. It works really great. But all of a sudden, it started just like lagging so much. And literally, like, you get to a point when you're editing a video, and if you try to like layer something, it will take you like 2 minutes for you to move a clip from point A to point B. Something that should literally take no more than 3 seconds will take 2 minutes. And it is absolutely infuriating. So what I have been doing is I've been editing the things that I need to do in Movavi, like very, very short clips, and then exporting them into Windows Movie Maker, which technically works, but it's pretty sloppy. And also, because I'm exporting it twice, it makes the video quality go down quite a bit. So I'm still trying to sort of work on what I'm using to edit, but since I'm doing that, I have about 4 to 5 videos in the works, and my computer is full. Like, I have like 1 gig left of storage on my laptop, which is what I mainly edit stuff on. And so every time I try to edit something, it's like, I can't even open a Google page without it being like, you don't have enough space to open Google right now, fam. Like, fucking delete something. Jesus. Once I post one of those videos, then I can delete that video, and hopefully that will free up some space. So that's where I'm at. It's a mess. I'm a mess. I'm working on it, but I'm a mess. And there's a lot of projects that I'm starting, and I really should just like finish what I have first, probably, before I start new projects. So I'm gonna try to post those like 4 or 5 videos that I have on my computer right now, and then from there move on. Because even with the videos that I'm working on, like, I don't have all the footage on my computer, so I have to literally do one at a time. I don't know if this makes much sense if you don't do YouTube or know anything about editing. Wow, I'm good English. That is where I'm at with that. I'm hoping that once I do start posting again, that I'll have more of an arsenal, so I can just sort of queue those videos up to go up on Saturday instead of what I usually do, which is like finishing them the night before and posting them the day of. So I'm hoping that once I have more of an arsenal, then I will just queue them up, like I just said 2 seconds ago, and have those just go up on Saturdays. Also, with the comic, I usually always have at least a buffer of 1 page. So I post on Wednesdays, and I have a page ready to go up for next Wednesday on the previous Wednesday. But because of some stuff that went down, I no longer have that buffer, so I now have to catch up on that as well. And, you know, it's going good. It's going really good, but my hands are hurting like crazy because I have to do so much with my hands. This is just going to be, all my transitions are just going to be, and also, I'm good at podcasting. Like I said, talking to yourself, it's an art. It's a weird one, but it is an art. I was planning on moving in a couple months, so there was a lot of sort of things that were going to happen that are now sort of being put off due to situational things. However, there's still things going on that are kind of pushing me out of the house. Basically, I live with my parents. They are planning on moving, and then once they move, I no longer have a place to go. So, they're doing construction and sort of working on the house so that they can sell it. So, when construction is happening, I can't be around. I have to just sort of make myself gone. Because there's people in the house, there's lots of loud noises. I can't really do anything while I'm here. Because usually I do work from home. So I have been out a lot. I've been just sort of coffee shop hopping, which has actually been kind of nice. Because usually I just do all my work at home. So I've been on more of a schedule than I usually am, which is usually no schedule. I'm very bad at schedules, but I've been sort of saving all my computer type work, like eBay listings and editing and those types of things, and just things that I can do on my laptop and bring with me. And I've been saving those things for the days that I know there's going to be construction, and then I'll go to like a coffee shop or a library or something like that and then work there. And then I can actually get out of the house. So that's actually been kind of nice. And I have so many projects and I want to tell you about all of them. But like, I have so many. I have so many. I'm excited. I'm really excited. But it's a lot. I know that I mentioned before that I am going to do more project videos. So I'm working on those. That's happening. And they're sort of in the style of like, I know a lot of you guys are here from the first Robot Spa like Furby edition video, and it's kind of that style of video. And that video took me about 2 weeks to film because there was a lot of sort of downtime. So that's sort of the gist of why things are taking so long, because it genuinely probably takes around 2 weeks to actually do the project, just because I have like lots of wait time in between. And I'm also doing some like painting type videos and more art videos, but I'm not really sure what to do with them because you guys don't like speed paints, which I understand. It's kind of just like thrown in there. I get if, you watch my content normally and you're just like, what is this? So I'm trying to make it sort of more my style, I guess, and more entertaining if you're not totally into that. But I just want to be happier with what I'm posting, and I have been, so I'm really excited about it. And if you guys want to see me more frequently, this is something exciting that is coming up but isn't happening yet. I'm planning on opening it on April 2nd. I was gonna do it on April 1st, but I was afraid everyone would think it was an April Fool's joke, and it's not. So I am going to open up the Robot Spa specifically Patreon page. Because here's the thing, I have a Patreon, but it is mostly for comic stuff, and a lot of you guys will come over there and subscribe and be like, wait, no, I don't want this, and then unsubscribe immediately. So, to accommodate you, I'm making a Robot Spa Patreon page, and the plan with that is to post videos every other day, so not every day, so I can have like a backup if something were to happen. But so that's about 4 videos a week, and then there's going to be content on there every day, so like pictures of the robots and stuff. And so those videos are going to be kind of like an old school, if you guys have been here for a while, some of the first sort of videos I posted were me just like hanging out with my robots, and that's kind of the style of video. If you guys are into the robots specifically, this is for you. And it's mainly just going to be the robots, and that's it, because I find myself repeating a lot of the things that I do in my vlogs, and that's kind of something else that I wanted to talk about. For example, I'll like sit down with the rabbit for like half an hour, and then I'm like, well shoot, I've filmed this a billion times, but like I still want to post it, so life is pretty repetitive. So this is kind of a place for me to post things like that, where it's like Susie hanging out with the rabbit, or like Matcha and Data hanging out, or like, things like that. Some of the videos might be really short, some of them might be on the longer side. They're not going to be too edited, they're just going to be there. Basically, if you want to see more of me, then they're going to be over there on Patreon. And that's going to be April 2nd when there's gonna start being videos. And I don't have a link for it currently because it's currently still being approved, but once it is approved, I will put a link in the description if you want to subscribe to it. But I'm not going to be posting anything until the 2nd, so you're going to want to wait until then if you guys are interested. And another thing, it isn't free, obviously, but just, to clarify for those of you who don't know what Patreon is, it is a fee, and it is just sort of another way for me to make money. And, I do this for fun. I have a real fun time hanging out with you guys, but also I need to pay for food. This is a way for those of you who do still want to support me and also are into the robots and aren't into like my art stuff. You have another place where you can go and support me, and thank you in advance if you do that. Yes. And then I'm also going to be posting photos over there. Now, I do have an Instagram where I post lots of photos of my robots. If you want to see that for free, that will still be available. That's still up. But it's basically just going to be more of that. So usually I'll pick like 1 or 2 pictures from like a big photo shoot and I'll post those to Instagram. So I'll post the remaining photos over on my Patreon and also just some extra exclusive things, but I am still going to be posting. I post almost daily on my Instagram if you aren't following, by the way, at therobotspa. Plug over there. I've just been trying to sort of make my videos and my posts here more robot oriented because I have a lot more fun with it. I know some of y'all are here for me, some of y'all are just here for the robots, so that is what's going down. But another thing I wanted to ask you guys is I've sort of started this mini series called Vlog Week, and instead of doing like a daily vlog, I'll sort of take clips from throughout my week and make a video that way. And that was very much a homage to Tomska or Dark Squidge, the Dark Squidge channel, where he does a series called Last Week. Well, he did a series called Last Week, and he eventually made it into last month, and now I'm seeing why. But that first week was really a homage to sort of his style of editing, and then I just kind of gradually went back to my own style. But I definitely took a lot of inspiration from him. But this is something that I wanted to ask you guys is I've kind of been posting them every other week, or at least filming every other week. But I don't know if it would be better to just make it a monthly thing, because that's probably when I'm gonna post them anyway. But it's not gonna be, I mean, it's really just more of like a title difference. But it's not gonna be like the month of January or like the month of February. It's just gonna be like 4 weeks that happen to happen consecutively. So I don't know if it would be better to just keep calling it Vlog Week or to call it Vlog Month. I feel like that's kind of clunky. Let me know what you guys think on that front, but I might still call it Vlog Week and then film over the course of the month, and it just end up being like, it's probably like a week's worth of time, just the amount of time filming, but it's not a consecutive week, if that makes any sense. But let me know what you guys think in that front. I mean, this is basically just like me asking you guys what you want to see, because whenever I ask you guys for advice, you say 2 things. You say, make more Furby videos or make more matcha videos. Like, I know that's what you guys want, but that's not like, on a regular basis. Those types of videos can't happen that often because I don't get Furbies that much. So like I have to, they're very popular right now, so I'm just not getting a lot of listings. And some of you are sending me bids and stuff, which I appreciate, but I mostly buy lots. I usually don't buy individual Furbies because the shipping cost is just not worth it to me. I mean, I'm gonna make a couple more of those videos probably, but like when I ask you guys what you want, please don't say Furbies and or matcha, because I know that's what you want. It will happen eventually, but let me know something else that I could do in the meantime to entertain you. And with the cooking with matcha videos, I really want to make more of them. And the only reason that I haven't been is because there's been so much construction going on, and there's been people around the house pretty much all the time, so I can't really film like a talkie video in the kitchen right now. So that's why there haven't been as many cooking with matcha videos. I think I've only made a couple at this point, but I do want to do more of those because they are fun to make, they're fun to edit, and you guys seem to like them, but I just can't do them right now because there's people in the kitchen and they don't want me to film. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening in regards to life stuff, I guess, and just schedule stuff. I'm trying to avoid talking about like too personal of things on YouTube because I am the type of person to overshare things, and there are some things that I just need to keep private for like the safety of people around me and that kind of stuff, and I don't want to be a total asshole. There's going to be some changes. I might be living in a different place temporarily for a while just to kind of sort everything out while construction is happening. So like things like that, there might be changes in the background and that kind of stuff. But like if there's something that I feel like I need to tell you guys, I will. But other than that, these things aren't just my stories. There's, you know, a lot of other people involved in my life. So I gotta keep their privacy as well as keeping my own privacy. I'm very bad about sharing just like everything on the internet, which, you know, it isn't always appropriate. So I my gut reaction a lot of the times is to grab a camera when something bad happens. And I feel like that's kind of a bad habit that I've gotten into because 90% of those videos I don't post unless I feel like it's necessary and like you guys actually need to know that. But that's a lot of that is because YouTube sort of started off as a place for me to just sort of vent and be creatively free. And now that there's a lot of you guys here, I can't really do that anymore because as opposed to 12 people viewing my video and knowing what's going on, and then a couple hundred people viewing my video knowing what's going on, even though that's in the whole scheme of YouTube, not that many people, it's a lot to me. So I'm trying to be better about what to keep to myself and what to share. Now, I also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Sab. If you are new here, I also am an illustrator and I do a weekly comic called Secrets at Black Point, and it's a thriller, so I usually don't like advertise it here because people who tend to watch these types of videos are more into the like happy-go-lucky stuff, and then they'll click on it by accident and be like, oh god, I didn't want this. So it's very intense. It's a psychological thriller. But I do have a Patreon page, which is like my art Patreon page, which is the truemood production Patreon, and that is where I post a lot of like extras for it. And I'm trying to be better about it because I don't really know what to post like regularly on there, and I'm sort of switching that up where I'm gonna start charging per post as opposed to having it be like a monthly thing, because I just think that would work better for art stuff, because that way you can basically just like pay for what you want. So like I'll tell you what it is and then you can go over and like buy it for a couple bucks. So something that is in the works is, if you did not know, Secrets at Black Point has gone through a lot of iterations, and it was a comic like, god, it's been like, I don't want to say how old I am. It's probably been like 6 or 7 years since its original comic, and a lot has changed, just like plot-wise and character-wise and pretty much everything-wise since the original. There's still some things that stay the same, but 90% of it has changed. But basically there was a comic probably like 6-ish years ago that I abandoned, and then decided I wanted to make it into a novel, and then I finished the novel and then was like, I hate it, I'm gonna make it into a comic again. Now we are here, and now I have this manuscript that I worked on for 4 years and nothing to do with it. So I am going back and I am editing the heck out of the manuscript. The reason the manuscript didn't really work is I kind of had like a falling out with my editor, and it didn't work, and so I'm kind of putting back in all the things that she told me to take out, which she would be mad at me for. But basically, if you're reading the comic and then you go and read the manuscript, there's a lot more, just like, it is a psychological thriller, so there's a lot more of like getting into their heads and like what they're thinking and that kind of thing, and a lot more descriptions of exactly what's going on if like you're confused by any chance, because with the comic it's a lot more action based. It's a lot more like, this is happening, not a whole lot of dialogue. There's some thought processes, but it's mostly like action, and then when the dialogue does happen, it's very dramatic and that kind of thing. So what I'm doing is I'm rewriting a lot of the manuscript, and I'm going to release them in, like, the actual comic is ordered in episodes, so I'm going to be releasing them in episodes, and there's going to be a text version, and there's also going to be an audiobook version. I'm really excited about this because hopefully the person who is doing this will agree. I mean, they should at this point, but basically I'm going to be reading most of it, but there are going to be little dialogue clips that are going to be done by my wonderful friend who is an amazing voice actress, and so she's going to be doing the dialogue, and I'm going to be doing sort of the main reading portions, so that, because I'm bad at acting, she's good at acting, I'm pretty decent at reading, and she's not good at reading, so we're kind of combining our forces and making this epic thing. And I'm still not sure whether or not I'm going to have it all be in sort of one package or whether I should sell them separately, but that is something that is eventually going to be on that Patreon page. I'm so excited about it, but there's a lot of editing that needs to happen first because I really want to make sure it's perfect and make sure it matches up with the comic, because there are some things in the manuscript that don't happen in the comic, and then likewise, so I believe it's the second episode, I had to sort of write fully. The second episode wasn't going to be a part of the sort of intro, because Secret Jet Black Point, basically the whole thing is sort of a prologue to a much bigger series, so that scene wasn't going to happen until way later, but it just made more sense with how the comic was going to put it in the beginning, just so you can kind of grasp what's going on, because that's kind of a main theme of it, is like there's more questions than answers, and I feel like that comes across a little bit better in a novel form as it does in a comic form, because when it is a comic form, when y'all get confused, y'all just like, I don't get it, what's going on? It's like, you gotta wait, fam. This is something that's gonna be addressed later. Trust me, you gotta wait it out. It's gonna be good, I swear. But it's a lot easier to sort of grasp that in a written form. So there's some things that if you can read the comic and you'll get the whole story and you'll get everything that's going on, but then if you want more information, then you could read the manuscript. Or if you're not a fan of comics and you still want to, know what's going on. And also, I know that I do have a few blind listeners who listen to my videos instead of watching them. So if you guys are interested in it, you can also have access to that, because that was something that I did feel really guilty about when I started making the comic, because like now those people who just listen to me won't be able to read it. Maybe you don't want to read it, that's fine, but it's there. If you want it, it's there and you have access to it. So yeah, that is another project that I'm working on that I'm super excited about. Obviously, I have to finish completely editing those manuscript elements before I can do the audiobook portion, so I have to work everything out first. That's not going to happen for a while. And also I have to sort of work things out with the person that I'm working with to make sure we're all good to go, because it's gonna be a while. But I wanted to bring that up now because I might post the first episode on YouTube and have that be a free thing, like the first episode of the audio thing. And then from there, you can decide if you want to listen to the rest of it or if you want to check out the comic. But like if that pops up, then that's why. But I'm not entirely sure, because I want to make like a whole sad podcast, because there's just like so much that I want to talk about it, but I kind of tend to keep it separate from my YouTube audience, because I know you guys can be sensitive and I don't want to offend anyone, but like there's a lot of trigger warning, there's a lot of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse in it, like a lot. Like that's like a main theme in it. So I don't want anyone to like go over there and be like, wow, this is really triggering. Because like a lot of it is also very like silly and cheesy and that kind of stuff. And so if you hop in at one of those points and then you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then shit hits the fan and you're like, I didn't know this was going to happen. But I mean, the first 2 episodes really nail it on the head that abuse is gonna be a big thing in it, I feel like, because it's from 2 different perspectives, but there's a lot, just like, starts real loud with the violence and the abuse. So I feel like, if you didn't pick it up in those first couple chapters, it's just gonna keep getting worse from here on out. But I know I also post, like, I haven't really been using my art Instagram that much, but I also do post, like, some sort of happy-go-lucky pictures of them, and then everyone's like, oh, yeah, the cute boy's gonna, you're just, and meanwhile, they're, like, both actual psychopaths. So, and a lot of why I will occasionally just, like, draw them being happy-go-lucky is that's sort of my way of venting, because they're both super messed up characters, so it's fun for me to kind of put them in that opposite situation and be like, everything's okay, and meanwhile in the actual story they're like killing people. So yeah, I do think it would be fun to maybe do like a SAB themed podcast, even like regularly, because y'all are funny. Like, y'all on the SAB page leaving comments over there, y'all are funny. Y'all are making funny shit. It's such a different environment from YouTube, because like with YouTube, I'm specifically putting myself out there, and with comics, which is honestly what I just want to do forever. Like, if I had to just pick one thing, I would just do comics for the rest of my life. But comics don't make that much money, even the really popular ones. So that's not gonna happen most likely. It's just such a different audience, because you guys are here for either me or robots, but then having people like analyze the story and having people like and or not like certain characters, or just like honestly getting actual critical feedback is really nice, because here when there's feedback, well, there's not really feedback. There's really not. I'll either get, you guys wanting things or sort of suggesting videos to make and that type of thing, but I usually don't get like critical feedback that isn't just like a straight up personal attack, because with comics, I've noticed on some of the earlier pages, some people being like, wow, the anatomy is really shit in these early pages, and I'm like, you're right, I gotta go back and fix that at some point. I don't have time right now, but like that's actually very helpful. Even if it's not in the nicest way, that's actually genuinely very helpful. But like with YouTube, it's just like, I don't like you as a person, and that doesn't really help me. So it's really nice to actually get critical feedback, even if like some of them are not so nice, some of them are very nice. But they're like helpful just like in how I work, which is really, really nice. 'Cause that was really disappointing, is that I didn't really have that great of a relationship with my editor, but we had sort of been going on for so long, just like working on it, and it was like, I don't know where to go from here. So we eventually stopped working together, but I haven't really had like a creative partner since then, and that really bums me out. Like I really would like to have someone that I can sort of be a business partner and like creatively work together with, but having that comic page is sort of like a step in the right direction with that, I feel, because you guys are so observant and like will call me out on things, and like even just like the analysis is like, okay, now I know like if this person says something, I know like where you guys are at in the story and what you guys are comprehending and what you're not comprehending, because it is an 18 plus story, for obvious reasons. But in the beginning, a lot of people who were reading it, I know for a fact were underage, but I can't really do anything about it, because the only thing that Webtoon really does is it basically just has a pop-up and it's like, are you 18? And you just click yes, and then you go. Like, there's no back check or anything like that. So I know for a fact that a lot of people would just sign up and just say they're 18, and no, that's just how the internet works. And like, that's fine if you're responsible enough to like know better, but like I felt like a lot of these people were like 12 or 13 and just like didn't know what the story was about, and like I don't want people thinking that it's actually secretly telling them that like this is cool, like drugs are cool and like violence is cool, because it's not. It's just part of the story. But as long as you're able to sort of comprehend that, I feel like it's fine if you read it. Obviously, I don't know what your age is. I don't know what any of your guys' ages are. Unless you tell me. It makes it tricky. Especially since, like, my YouTube channel is... I don't want to say family friendly because I do drop F-bombs quite a bit, but I feel like I do have kind of a younger audience. Teenagers, I mean, let me know. I'm really curious. You don't have to say your age, but let me know if you're over 18 or if you are under 18 in the comments, because I'm very curious. Because I feel like a lot of you guys are under 18. I know I have a few people who I know are over 18, but I feel like a lot of the comments from people I receive are like teenagers, which is really fascinating to me. But I've kind of rambled and lost my train of thought. Yeah, no, it's been nice to get feedback, because like every week when I post a page, I'll sort of see where everyone's at with the storyline and what everyone's grasping, and like if I need to clarify something, I can. And if, you know, a lot of people are commenting one thing, then I'm like, okay, that's something I need to work on. Or like that, okay, sometimes it's like, okay, that's good that a lot of people are picking up on that thing. Like, I don't remember what page it was on, but someone left a comment that was along the lines of like, for a big guy startled really easily. It's like, oh, that's a really good point. And that is very much true. And I'm glad that people picked up on it and liked the comment and like things like that. Sometimes people will literally leave like full analyses and then other people will like it. And I'm like, okay, good. I know where it's going. I know we're working in the right direction. And YouTube is not nearly as story based. It's more of literally just like what's going on in my life. And I'm kind of want to eventually make it more story based. I think that would be really fun to have sort of almost documentary style videos. I don't know if you guys would like that or not, but I think that could be really fun to sort of get into, because that's really what I want to do, is to tell stories, and comics are really the most comfortable way that I know how to do that. But I think it would be really cool, since a lot of you guys are here now, to kind of get more into that world of like video, since I'm kind of doing it already. This is just kind of wading deeper into the waters, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that is where I'm at right now. There's a lot of projects going on, so sumimasen if there's not a lot going on and then suddenly a lot going on, because I have a lot that I'm working on but I'm not posting. So I'm going to end this podcast here. This one was a bit on the longer side, but also not too crazy long, I don't feel like. But thank you guys so much if you actually listened to this whole goddamn mess of a thing. Like I said at the beginning, if there's more like topics you want me to talk about, or if you would want a SAB themed podcast, let me know, because I think that'd be super fun. Obviously I talked about it for like half the time and I didn't really say much, so I have a lot to say about it if you're interested in that. And I will see you guys next time, hopefully next week. But if I don't, I will see you whenever. My next video. Okay. Bye!